what is the value of x solves for the following proportion? Or what value of x solves for the following proportion? 9/6 equals x 8.
Okay. So really quick, I just want to talk about what a proportion is. So when we talk about proportions, kind of think about like percentages, or let's say maybe ratios are very similar to ratios. What if you said something like for every, like in a classroom, for every 2 girls in a classroom, there are 3 boys. And you wanted to know, and the only information that you had was that there are, let's say, 12 boys in the class. And you want to figure out how many girls there are. So one way to think about this is how many groups of kind of 3 boys do you have? You have 4, right? 3 times 4 is 12. So we could multiply the same thing up here and we would have 8. Right? So when we talk about proportions, we're talking about like the same multiplier in a sense. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. We're saying for every 9 something, let me do like an arrow. For every 9 something, we have 6 something else. So we want to know if I have 8 of that something else, how many of the top something do I have? Hopefully you followed that. I just said something a lot. There are 2 ways to solve this. One that you're probably familiar with is cross multiplying. So I'm going to do it that way. Before I do, I kind of want you to see how that works and how we kind of do it algebraically, and that cross multiplying is really just a shortcut that always works whenever I have 2 fractions and 1 variable and they're set up like this. So if I'm solving for x, my first thing that I'm going to look at is what I do every time I solve for equations, and I think, what is happening to x right now? Well, x is being divided by 8. So in order for me to undo that, I'm going to do the opposite, which is multiplying by 8. And then remember, when you have to balance equations, you're going to multiply this other side by 8 as well. And the goal here is really to isolate that variable x. So these 8s are going to cancel out. And I'm left with x equals 9/6 times 8. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and simplify by multiplying. So I'm going to do 8 times 9, which is 72/6. That's x, so x equals 12. So this is kind of the algebraic way of doing it. That shortcut cross multiplying, you're going to kind of see does the exact same thing. It's just much quicker. And honestly, it's a little easier to remember. So when we cross multiply, let me get rid of this highlighting over here. Actually, let me just rewrite it, because you're going to kind of see where they start to look similar. 9/6 equals x/8. When we cross multiply, we're doing all of this that I did originally, but we're just doing it in this kind of algorithm that's a little bit shorter. So I'm multiplying 9 times 8 over here, which you can kind of see, like this multiplication here is happening right here, right? And then on this side of the equation, I'm going to do equals 6 times x. So I'm going to say equals 6x. Now, if I left this alone, and when I say leave this alone, I mean don't simplify this 9 times 8. What you'll see is to solve for x over here, I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. And now you can kind of see where this cross multiplication, this division by 6 is happening right here. So we are doing the same thing as when we're solving it algebraically. The difference is we're kind of found a quicker shortcut way of doing that, because these operations all happen at some point anyway, regardless of the order that you do it in. And then you simplify, you get 72/6 equals x. So x equals 12. And the reason why I'm showing you this is, one, just to show you that these shortcuts aren't just made up. They do have some algebraic basis to it. And also, if you ever are taking a test and you forget how to cross multiply, or you just kind of panic and don't remember which to multiply by which, then you can always fall back on those general algebraic principles that really do the same thing, just not as quickly or efficiently. So hopefully that helps. Remember cross-multiplying when you have those two fractions, and if you forget, just revert back to your basic algebra skills.